Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today watching Lost. This is the 4th episode of their 5th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in and enjoy. So last episode was interesting. We actually found out that on the island, they are actually in 1954. Yes, you know what I mean? They are no longer in the present. They're way back in the day, and there is a bomb on the island which they needed Daniel to actually deactivate. You know, they believe that they brought there to obviously retrieve their bomb, and when I say they, it's the others, and they are the people that actually, you know, attacked Sawyer and shot them with the arrows. And again, interestingly, we found out that one of the men that was in there is actually Charles Widmore himself. So again, that's very, very interesting. We also learned that Richard has not aged a day. Yes, he was there in 1954, and yes, he's in the present, and he looks exactly the same. So I don't know what the island's doing to him, but it is doing wonders. So, you know, he ended up saying to Daniel, how do I know that you're not coming here just to retrieve your bomb to set it off to kill everybody here? He's turned around and said, look, mate, you know, there's a girl right next to me that I absolutely love, and I would do, you know, I'd never do anything that would actually jeopardize her life. Now, that's the first time, obviously, that Charlotte's actually heard him say this and kind of confess something, and you could see that she's actually enjoying it a little bit, because I feel like she does like him as well. So Richard has trusted him, given him a bit of, you know, leeway, and said, go and deactivate him. So he's gone over there to test it, and he's like, look, mate, you know, we need some lead, or we need some, you know, cement, because it's cracked. The best thing that I can recommend is you burying it. Now, this girl's turned around and said, look, mate, you said you could come and deactivate it. Why would I be burying it? And he's like, look, mate, because we're from 50 years into the future, and this island is still here, and this bomb has not gone off. So, you know, it is successful. So she's well confused. She's like, what do you mean you're 50 years in the future? Then Sawyer's turned up, obviously, with his weapon. He's made her drop it, and you know, she said, is he from the future as well? And he's like, geez, you told her? And he was like, yeah, I did. So again, I'm interested to see obviously how that impacts obviously the timeline, because Daniel keeps going on that he can't interact with people from the past. Now again, Locke's been having a conversation with Richard. He's been saying, look, mate, you know, you come and chosen me, I'm your leader, do you know what I mean? I'm from the future, and I need to get off this island. You told me that I had to go back to the present, basically die before returning. I need to know how we get off. And before we could actually reveal it again, mate, the flash hit. They basically changed timelines again, and it was left with all them stood there, and Charlotte ended up collapsing with a nosebleed, and it's very, very interesting, because she seemed to be suffering the most by all of these jumps. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
At least one of us can sleep.
It's gonna take more than 2 nights for me to get used to sleeping in a normal bed. Did you know that Claire was flying to LA to give him up for adoption?
No.
I think we should say he's mine. After everyone we've lost, Michael, JIN, and Sawyer, I can't lose him too.
Sawyer's not dead.
But he's gone.
I'd like to know the task that he gave Kate. That's what I'd like to know. What did he tell Kate to do before he jumped out of the helicopter?
Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna have to convince everyone to lie. Are you with me?
I have always been with you. Erin, honey, Mommy's gonna run out and do an errand.
Don't worry about us, Kate. There's candy in the minibar and 100 channels on TV.
Okay, you be good for Son. Okay, honey?
Delivery for you, Miss Kwong.
Thank you.
Oh, she's got pictures of Ben with Jack. Maybe she's using Kate to get to Jack then. Wouldn't it be interesting to see like Son turn into some like mad savage killer, starts going around just popping everyone? I mean, it would kind of make sense if she was getting close to Kate, because she's hoping that Kate can get her in contact with Jack, who's obviously spending a lot of time with Ben, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like what Penelope was saying to, well, Desmond and that, like, you know, if you've got enough money, you can have enough resources to find whoever you want. And basically, that's the same as her. She's rich, isn't she? And she's obviously searching for Ben.
Charlotte.
What the hell's wrong with her? She's been out for 10 minutes.
Stop shouting, James. If there's something that you want to tell me, Daniel, now would be a good time.
She's like this because the sky keeps lighting up. He knew this would happen. He didn't say squat about it.
Go away.
He is right, though. He is right. He's funny, Sawyer.
Our brains have an internal clock, a sense of time. The flashes throw the clock off.
You want to tell me why it isn't happening to the rest of us?
That guy said, you know, after what he done to that poor girl, but we don't know who he's talking about. Gone right to the people who asked for the DNA.
How can I help you?
I'll give you the blood samples, but first I want to talk to your client.
seeing my client later today, and I will be sure to pass along your offer. I have a signed court order compelling you to let us confirm that you're the child's mother. My client insists that we handle the exchange of custody quietly.
I just want to know who is doing this to me.
You did this to yourself. You are going to lose the boy.
Mate, trust me, right? This guy's car would be smashed up, all his tyres slashed, his windows put in. I'd chase him home and smash his windows as well, me. Like,
We have to go back to the Orchid.
maybe Locke turns it again and he's the one that pings off the island.
This is all happening because they left. I think it'll stop if I can bring them back.
The boat blew up and that chopper was probably on it.
They're not dead, James. All that matters is they've got to come back.
You okay?
What happened?
There was another flash. You passed out.
Now what? Going to the Orchid.
I'm Dr. Ariza, Director of Clinical Services. A word with you, please. What do you think you are doing here?
I was treating a patient, an emergency.
You were suspended on charges of substance abuse.
Excuse me.
So he'd get to you? Did my dad drop him off?
Yes, he did. Hurley, where?
You okay?
He's fine.
Totally cool. I'm in LA County lockup. Oh, and tell Saeed I did exactly what he said. I'm totally safe. Ben's never gonna get me now.
Sorry, I think you have the wrong room.
Nope. Room 133, right? I won't have to give you an injection.
Dominated in there, Saeed.
Who are you working for?
That is the main question though, isn't it? He's had it 3 times now.
Address in my pocket.
He didn't actually kill him, you know what I mean? This guy got off lucky.
Hello, Saeed.
Do we know anyone who lives at 42 Panorama Crest?
That's the case address.
The thing is as well, right? You know, we did learn last episode that Desmond was on his way to LA, I believe they said. Because that's where he went to find Faraday's mum, I believe. Are these in LA? They probably are out there. It's probably like a collective place where they're all going to reunite together.
It's Jack. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Where are you right now? Are you at home?
Listen, Jack, this is really not a good time.
Will you tell me where you are? I need to see you.
I'm downtown, Wilshire and Olive.
Okay. All right. I'm on my way.
What are you going to say to her? Kate, what are you going to say to her to get her to come back?
I haven't figured that out yet.
Wonder what that is?
What the hell is that?
Innit? You've got to go over there.
Whatever it is, we better stay clear of it. We need to keep moving.
When are we now? Are we back in the present? We did change. Oh, it's happening to him.
I'm peachy.
Nobody move.
Wow, that doesn't sound like a good screen, does it? It sounds like proper bad.
Jane, I got this.
Sounds like Finger, Claire.
You're not alone in this. We are all here for you. This baby is all of ours.
Feels like a lifetime ago, this, doesn't it?
Come on, Claire, push!
He's well in love with Kate, innit? He's just proper in love with her.
James, what happened? Did you see something out here, James?
Don't worry.
Oh, mate, he fell deep for Kate. I wanted Kate to be with him over Jack as well, but I'm not too bothered, but I did choose them.
You shaved your beard.
Yeah.
I don't know why you called, but I can't be dealing with this right now. There's a lawyer in there. His clients, they know we're lying. They know I'm not his mom, and they're gonna take him away.
She needs to follow him. He knows he's going to a meeting.
I gotta go, all right? Get in or don't.
You and I both know when we were before the flash changed.
How is it that you knew when we were, Johnny boy?
Yeah, that is actually true.
Light in the sky was from the hatch, wasn't it?
The night that Boone died, I went out there and started pounding on it as hard as I could. Light came on, shot up into the sky. At the time, I thought it meant something.
Why'd you turn us around then? You want to go back there? So you could tell yourself to do things different.
I needed that pain. Get to where I am now.
I like that look on life, to be honest. You gotta suffer through the good and the bad to become the person that you are.
Why? Why her? Why me?
Duration of exposure, you know, the amount of time you spent on the island?
Doesn't make any sense. Those yahoos have been here for months.
Camp's back.
It's Vincent's.
Yeah, well, where's the rest of the dog?
Maybe your people took the boat.
To get away from whoever came in those.
Where did these come from?
Azura.
Ajira. It's an airline. It's based out of India, but they fly everywhere.
When are they coming back?
Let's not wait to find out.
Innit? Get in and paddle off. Right, before we dive into that, right, Daniel just said there, pause it, look at his head, mate, he's fuming. Right, Daniel was just saying that the nosebleeds might be happening from people who've had exposure to the island. Now, the way I was thinking it is, the people who have not been on the island for some time would get hit with a nosebleed because they've not been there. And like somebody like Juliet, Sawyer, and, you know, Locke, who've been there for a long period of time, would not be impacted. And also it would explain to me as well that the reason why Daniel is not being impacted is because we know that he has been on this island before and spent a lot of time there. But like the way they kind of changed it was like, you know, he said, well, I've not been on the island, as if it was like people who's only just come would not be affected and the people who had been there would be affected, if that makes sense. But then that would make Juliet and Daniel more, you know, I mean, like, inclined to get the nosebleed themselves. So I don't really know what we're doing with that. It's interesting, but I'm thinking about Charlotte, and I'm sure last episode when Desmond was speaking to that guy and he said something like Daniel done something to some poor woman. Mate, I wonder who he was talking to. Was he talking about, obviously, his mum, or was he talking about Charlotte?
This plan sounded a hell of a lot better when we were going by motorboat.
I saw Kate before the last flash, delivering Claire's baby.
That was 2 months ago.
Get out! I think they want their boat back! Oh! Thank you, Lord!
That is an actual life-saving one. Yo, this could be the time where they got blown up by Tom and everybody. Yo, it'd be pretty scary being in water like that, wouldn't it? And weather. Oh, it's a blonde woman. Oh, right, okay.
It's Claire's mother.
That makes sense. It does make sense. But would Jack have the, you know, would Jack technically have some sort of right to maybe claim, what's it called, guardianship of Aaron himself? I'm not too sure. I don't really know how it works. Obviously, like, you would think maybe a gran or a nan, whatever you want to say, would have more sort of chance of getting parentalship over the uncle, because that's what Jack is. But then again, why? You know what I mean? Why is that the case? Jack was there from the day the baby was born and pretty much been a focal point of Aaron's whole life. So then I would say that parentalship would sway towards Jack in terms of, you know, if it was going against each other. Somebody who's been there from day dot up until present, who's actually a blood relative, compared to somebody who is also a blood relative, but who's actually not been around. But I know it's not her fault as well, so you can use that against him. But it does actually make sense. I was thinking that maybe it's son. I don't know why, just for a good twist, but I like how we actually tied it in to this storyline now.
She knows.
Maybe she doesn't know
She knows
everything.
about Aaron, and that's all that matters.
If I can just explain to her why we did it, maybe if I can get her to understand why, she'll listen to me.
Aaron is my family too.
He's well scared about telling Kate that he's blood related.
You were drenched.
No, I'm fine.
How did you even know I was here?
I knew you were here. Miss Littleton followed your lawyer. But I need you to know that everything that Kate and I have done, it was for Aaron.
Who's Aaron? I'm afraid I'm not following you.
Could be son again. It could be.
Let's go, drive. She doesn't know. She doesn't even know that Aaron exists.
The lawyer...
She sued Oceanic, and she's in town to pick up her settlement.
Why'd you take it upon yourself to rescue Hugo?
Had to make sure Hurley was safe.
Mr. Norton?
Oh, it's fucking
Ben.
Ben.
I don't have any kind of solid case against Reyes. The man found outside Santa Rosa was killed before Reyes escaped. We have a prelim hearing in the morning, and Reyes will be a free man.
Maybe he's doing it to scare Kate to run back to the island. That would be a good... He's wild, is he? Look.
We didn't get a chance to finish our conversation. You were about to tell me how it felt to see Kate again. Why don't you tell me now?
I was close enough to touch her.
Why didn't you?
What's done is done.
She's getting a nosebleed.
Wreckage. Looks like it just happened.
Oh, I wonder if it was Russo's. I'm thinking it's Russo, but I don't know. Here he is. First appearance of the season. Oh, you love to see it. It's a great episode.
Jack, why did you call me today?
I was worried.
Why were you worried? Why today?
I don't...
Right before I called you, Saeed was attacked, and the guy that did it, your address was in his pocket.
Hello, Kate.
It's okay. He's with me. But he's here to help us, to help everyone that we left behind.
It's him. He's the one who's trying to take Aaron.
No, you don't understand.
No, Jack, she's right. It was me.
Someone was trying to use them to get to Ben. I'd love it if Ben knows that's about to happen anyway, and that's the only way he could have got her there.
You speak English?
Little.
How did you get here?
Boat.
Qu'est-ce qu'il fait ici?
Il dit qu'il est venu en bateau.
What boat?
It's gone.
That is Russo. I wanted to say her name. I'm Danielle. This Jin's gonna be well confused. You ain't got a clue what's going on, mate.
What is your name?
JIN.
I'm Danielle. Danielle Russo.
Yes, he knows. My guy knows. For him, he's just gonna be baffled, isn't it? Like, it's understandable for him. Like, he's just been drifted in the ocean for so long that he's just come to the end. To be honest, it wouldn't even go like that crazy for him to think that he's just hallucinating. He don't believe any of this is actually happening. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you've been outside in the heat for so long, you start thinking that you're seeing things. You know, you see that in films and that, when they're in the desert and they're walking and they're dehydrated for ages and they start seeing that stuff in the horizon and it's not there. That's kind of this, you know what I mean? The guy's been out there so long on his own that now he's like, don't know what's real and what's not. And obviously, you know, I clocked that it would have been Russo and the people, the fact that they was French, you know what I mean? Let's just put two and two together. Now, again, I would like to see what truly happened to these people, because we've had it implemented to us by Danielle before that her people started to go crazy. Basically, she had to kill them and whatnot, but I haven't seen anybody else on the island go crazy. We're on the 5th season. I've not seen nobody be kind of implemented and infected by this sort of thing that she was talking about. And like, we have seen a couple of people injecting themselves with things. Like, when Desmond was first seen, he was pumping it in. But what correlation does that have? Did it actually do anything? Was it just mind games? You know what I mean? Like, that's really interesting. We have jumped over timelines a lot, haven't we? If I'm being honest, it would mess with the brain. So, like, you can see people getting affected by it in the jumps and the loops. But, like, if you go... I'm going to take that when the show came out. I think it was 2004. So, I'm just going to call that the present. It might be 2005, you know, like in the line. But let's just say 2004. Then we dived all the way back to 1954. Like last episode, and then we jumped all the way back to 2004, but like 2 weeks ago, you know what I mean? Like 2 months ago, sorry, when Claire was giving birth to the baby. Then we've gone back again, maybe 15 years or something. How old was Alex? And now you're in Jin's timeline. So literally you've gone from 2004 to 1954, back to 2004, back to, like, you know what I mean, 2000, well, not 2000, would it be like 1980? So it's just literally mad, mate. Literally, the timeline's all over the place, and no wonder it's affecting the people's heads. And they're saying that the main thing that it's doing is people who spent a long time on the island, they're the ones that are being impacted by it. And at first, when he first said that, I think that was a bit confusing, because why is it happening to Charlotte? Why is it happening to Miles? You would think that if it was happening to people that have been on the island for a long time, you know, Juliet would be impacted by it as well. And we actually see nothing of it. But then later on in the episode, she started to get it. So Juliet's got it. Miles has got it. Charlotte's got it. It says to me that they've been here in the past, or they've been here for long periods, like years. And Daniel's got to be the next person to possibly experience this. It's really interesting. I don't know, like, what we're trying to get at with that, you know what I mean? I don't know what we're trying to achieve, but it's going to be quite fascinating to see how this season actually plays out, mate. It literally is, because we're flying all over the place, and Locke's in it, but he's dead, technically. Do you know what I mean? Which is really, really exciting as well. I can't wait to see how he gets off the island and gets back to it, and if he's going to be alive in the last season, because obviously he's in season 5 and there's only one more to go. Okay, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So obviously, like, stuff's going on the island. It's crazy. You know, people have been there for a long period of time, are suffering from nosebleeds and dizziness, and I don't know if it's impacting their brains. We didn't really see much of, well, we didn't see any of Richard's group, and obviously the others back in 1954, which I'm expecting to see in future episodes, you know, because we had the reveal of Whitmore, you know, being there in the past, and obviously he's trying to research and get to the island again. Maybe the Black Rock is something to do with them, you know what I mean? He was buying artifacts with it, and you know, I thought that was a reason why he was trying to get to the island, to uncover more information, but it shows that he's already been there before, which again is really interesting. Now we're seeing Russo coming to the island pretty much pregnant with Alex as well. and our man JIN is alive. Yes, that's very exciting. And obviously in the present, or whatever you want to call it, off the island 3 years later, you know what I mean, we've got everybody kind of like regrouping together, but not meaning to, you know. It's kind of like accidentally for certain you know, people, basically, you know. JIN, sorry, not JIN, Sun, she's only there because she wants to kill Ben, but she's reuniting with everybody, which is going to help them get her to the island, as well as Kate. Do you know what I mean? She had no intention of ever going back to the island or grouping up and meeting Ben again. But the manipulation, not really manipulation of Jack, but the manipulation of Ben and using Jack as the feels towards her, so to speak, got her to a location, which obviously served them a good purpose to bringing her back. And then obviously we learned that there's going to be no sort of case against Hurley because information shows that the guy died outside of the facility prior to him escaping, which was easy. Do you know what I mean? Like, for a forensic person, for somebody who's got cameras in the facilities and stuff like that, it should be set in stone that that was obvious. And I'm glad that actually is the case. You know what I mean? And then I said as well, you know, I think I said at the time, the 3 bodies that have died, there's probably no DNA evidence at all on any of the 3 that Hurley's even touched them. You know what I mean? Like, I did mention that in one of the episodes. And now, obviously, he's basically saying that in tomorrow's, he's going to be released. He's going to get off. And then he's the last piece of their puzzle. Well, Ben's. That's a good twist because I was suspecting Sun all episode. I don't know why. I just thought it would be a good twist because Kate's trying to... Well, someone's trying to take Kate's kid. But then Kate has left the kid with someone else. And I was like, whoa, mate. Imagine if she was the twist. But it wasn't. It was Ben, which made sense. It did make sense. At first, I thought it was Claire's mum because that would have made sense as well. You know what I mean? She knows that Claire was pregnant and she was travelling. She knows that obviously people are kind of sus about Kate being pregnant. They didn't think that she was really pregnant when she was being marshalled onto the plane. And then obviously like... I said now, like, she's thinking, maybe I could be the grandma. Let's check it out. So, again, you know, that would have been a decent twist. Jack's going in, obviously tried to confront her. She said she don't know what he's talking about. She don't know who Aaron is. She's just come here to get a settlement of the company who she sued. And then, obviously, they figured out that it's Ben. And it was his lawyers. You know what I mean? It's a good twist, man. Ben is so good, actually. He is so, so good. I'm glad that even though he's not allowed back on the island... We've actually utilised him this season. And I'm maybe thinking as well that, you know, he could get to the island because he knows Locke got off the island. And I kept saying it, but I wonder if it's just the last person to do something. It's theirs. It's kind of like if I picked a bottle of water up and I threw it in the street and then you went over and picked it up and then you threw it, then you would be the litterer then. Even though I was originally the litterer. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it anyway. You picked it up and now you've thrown it away. And it's like, you know, at first, Ben turned the key, he got off the island. He was the last one. If someone else turns the key and opens the door, they're the last user. You know what I mean? And then that means that you're no longer the last person. So, that again is really interesting. I don't know if it's true or not. I was also wondering, how did Ben get off the island? I'm assuming that we're supposed to just take the fact that he spun the key, he went from being in the Antarctic and woke up in... Where did he wake up? Like Tunisia or the Sahara Desert, I think he woke up, didn't he? And he was in that jacket, and I believe that he must have just transported, and we just got to take that for face value, that that's what happens. So, like, you know, we're going to take it as face value that when Locke turns it, he's going to end up being back in LA or something like that, or back into the, you know, mainland, and then he'll make his way back to LA to meet everybody else, because that is kind of the only explanation that I can think of right now, and they are actually going to the Orchid. So it's going to be really interesting. Can't wait to watch more. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you did enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you do. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.